Hello there. Welcome to the channel. Yesterday I told you about how important writing is to me as a skill and an experience and a way of thinking. So today I thought I might give you an example of an assignment that I think any teacher can use from grade 6 up with any group of students in any subject. Because it allows students to see how quickly they can generate material that they can use for a class, at least ideas for material they can use for a class. So this assignment is actually adapted from an assignment another writing teacher taught me, and I've been doing it for while I was teaching it, I did it almost all through my writing and teaching career. So I've done it a lot, and it has usually doled out some wonderful experiences. If you use it properly with classroom participation, it essentially will fill a class hour. But really, it's about helping kids generate a draft of material right in front of you and in 15 minutes. So let's get started. This is called Murray's 5-card stud, and it starts with a sheet of paper. The sheet of paper. So you have all the students take out their notebooks and take out a sheet of paper, and they're going to fold it. You're going to fold it this way, and they're going to fold it this way. So essentially what you get is 4 small quadrants of paper. And they're going to start in the upper left-hand corner with your leading phrase or statement. And it could be something as simple as, my earliest memory is, and then they're to write for 3 minutes or until they fill that little quarter of the paper. Now, even the most cantankerous, antagonistic kid, if they'll take pen to paper, is going to get something from this. That's another reason why I loved it so much when I was using it. So your leading phrase might be something as simple as, my earliest memory is, and then write. But it could be something about a subject. I learned multiplication tables in what grade, what year. My favorite scientific subject is, write it down. And they're just to write for 3 minutes or until they fill that quadrant of the paper. And then they can stop. Now, after they do that, what I would often do is ask if anybody wanted to share their section of the paper. And usually there are a couple of kids that would love to share. Some kids love attention. Hello! I love attention. Attention is very tasty to me. But anyway, I always had a few kids that would happily share, and they would share their square. And then I would ask them, okay, what is the single most interesting or surprising word or phrase in that first quadrant of the paper, in that first card? And then I'd have them circle it. Then I'd say, okay, we're going to write for 3 more minutes, and we're going to go to the second quadrant right below it. We're going to go from this part of the paper to this part, and we're going to start with that center of gravity that you circled, and you're going to write until you either fill up that little quarter of the paper or 3 minutes is up. So there you go. So you turn on the timer, and they write with that center of gravity in their minds. Then, after the 3 minutes is up, you can have them share, or you can share. You can have them share just that quadrant or both quadrants if they want to do it. Just depends on how many students you have and how open they are about what they want to share. Up here in the third quadrant, they're going to do the same thing they did before, except now they're looking for a center of gravity, or the most important word or phrase, in the second quadrant, and they're going to start with that up here on the third square. 3 minutes. Oh, now they figured you out. So you have them write for that 3 minutes, when they get done with that, you ask if they want to share. Usually some want to share, and it gets kind of fun because students sort of fall in love with what the others are saying. It's pretty common that they enjoy this activity. Then we get to the fourth square and they think, oh, it's center of gravity again, but it's not. Now what they're to do is to fill this fourth quadrant with something completely off base, totally separate from any subject they've hit so far in the three other squares. Something out in left field, to use an old baseball cliche. 3 minutes. And they write that. Now here's the surprising alchemy of this exercise. If they are lucky, or if it works the way it's designed to work, and it usually does, what they discover as they're writing that fourth square, that they were looking for something really far afield from what they were writing about originally, it somehow dovetails into the subject they were exploring. Now there's a number of reasons why this could happen, and that is that a lot of times when you think of something totally different, you still think of something related to the first topic. So that's why it'll often be related in some obscure way to what you've been writing. Now, because I had my students write 4 days a week at least in my class, sometimes I would say, okay, you're done with this week's writing assignment. If you don't want to do anything more with that sheet of paper, you can just turn it in and that's your writing for this day. And it took them 3, 6, 9, 12. Just took them 12 minutes to write quite a bit, actually. If they want to pursue what they've begun to discover in this assignment, then they can start really playing with the idea of how ideas get organized and how they link to each other. I often suggest that they should move that last square to the top and start with it, and then lead into the rest of the squares and then write a brief conclusion. This creates a 5-paragraph theme that doesn't follow a sort of canned outline or thesis system. It simply allows a writer to follow the thoughts that come from pursuing an idea. And in that way, it's maybe more useful than any other outline you could possibly give them. It's simple, it's fast, and it's productive. By doing it this way, they discover what they really like to think about. And you know, sometimes it's surprising what you like to think about. Memories, things you make, things you've experienced, and you discover that maybe you're better with language than you suspect. That's it for today. It's called Murray's 5-card stud. The 5th card is doing a revision and writing a complete piece from it. But if you only play the 4 cards, you still get a lot out of it. I hope you have a glorious rest of the day, and I hope you see me again, you gorgeous people.